I have always considered myself a feminist, but until November of 2016, I was very much a feminist who had never been challenged. I didn't think that sexism was necessarily an overt part of our culture. And on November 9th, I realized that worldview was flawed. It was absolutely wrong. I was first introduced to art in high school through an AP art history class. In that class, I learned that art was very much a function of the world around it, and I could learn about history and culture through art, and that was fascinating. Art I've made in the past was very much a practice of creating pieces as a function of line quality and light, and I was also hoping that those pieces would be commercially successful. And then everything changed in November of 2016, and I realized that my art could say something more. I wanted to create a collection of pieces that chronicled this feminist moment. I heard from a lot of people that they felt like they needed to do something. A lot of people felt this shift, and creating this art was something I knew I could do. I could make this contribution. Right away, news of the Women's March reached me, and I participated. I also asked women to send me pictures that they took on that day around the country. And those pictures became pretty literal translations into DC and St. Louis. But those pieces also gave me the unifying color I used throughout the show, neon pink. Another theme I wanted to explore was fertility. I feel strongly that pregnancy is an easy way to get to the root of feminism. I was inspired talking to a friend of mine who was expecting, and I saw her courageousness, her confidence, how calm she felt knowing that her body was perfectly capable of accomplishing this enormous task of carrying a child, and really how she's a superhero. Those thoughts very much informed She Carries Man, courage, confidence, control. The flip side of this story is the loss of pregnancy. I spoke to another friend who was going through a difficult stretch trying to conceive a second child. She had experienced a miscarriage, and the grief she felt was very real. I learned from her how terrifying it was as a woman to experience that lack of control, that sometimes her body could fail her for reasons she couldn't really understand. She felt that pain deeply, and I tried to capture those feelings in Vacancy Chaos. I wanted to address another feminist theme, the glass ceiling. What is it? How is it constructed? When we see it in our mind, what does it look like? What color is it? I figured no one had ever asked these questions, so I polled women, what color is the glass ceiling? Their answers were included in my final piece, a large abstraction entitled Glass Ceiling. I decided to name the show, nevertheless, She Persisted. Obviously, this statement immediately became a rally cry for feminists everywhere, and it fit perfectly with the idea of my show. We are persisting. The glass ceiling isn't broken, but we will. Through this process, I've realized and defined the value that women bring to this world. I see the value women bring to this world, and I won't stop until it's recognized. It won't be the only contribution I make, but it's an important one.